Okay, let's get started. Thank you for joining. If you're joining us live on Facebook or via Zoom, you are welcome to ask us questions if you are interested in trading, and you can open a demo account or trade with as little as $10 on one of the brokers. We're not allowed to recommend brokers, but you'll find all the information in the guides. So let's get started. It is non-farm payroll day, so it's probably going to be just a bit of fun for us this morning, but we'll see how the market is moving. You can see that on Forex Factory this afternoon. You can set this to your local time zone up here. And there's all the red information. So that's the most important monthly event in the Forex calendar. Let's have a look at the currency strength meter. So Australian dollar and Japanese yen are the weakest. US dollar is 4 bars. We don't trade these in session pairs in London, Euro and GBP, or I don't anyway. So I should be looking at sells or puts, as we call them in binary options, HFX, high frequency Forex trading, sells on the Aussie, the Australian dollar and the Japanese yen, buying the US dollar. When that goes up, it will force these two down, the opposing currency. Base currency will be the Australian dollar, and the base currency against the Japanese yen would be the US dollar. So buying the US dollar against the Japanese yen and selling the Australian dollar against the US dollar. These are all the other ones, but I never trade any of those. Let's come over to HourGlass. To log in again. This is one of the scanners that we use on 5-minute trade idea that it's calling out for us. Just missed the quarter past, so it's 18 minutes past now. Just have a look. What's happening on the currency strength as well. Come to the 5-minute. I'll show you these lines in a minute. So we can see the Australian dollar's been in a heavy downward trend, as you'd expect from looking at the currency strength meter. It's just going to hit an hourly line at 945, and there's a daily as support there. And what we mean by that is price will use that. You can see it hit against it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times before coming down, and it broke through, and now it's just touching this upper level. So it's in this range, but it's been going down all morning. And I'll just look at the US dollar versus the Japanese yen, this one. There's a very heavy sell candle there at 10 a.m. London, which is when we start trading. So this could be a good one to look at because it's off an hourly line. The longer the time frames, the heavier the support and resistance, the stronger. It's come down past a 1,000-point quarter point, which is another very strong line of support and resistance, and it's doing a retrace back up. So I'm going to look at this one for the half hour, but as I said, it's non-farm payroll day. So yesterday I just did a bit of fun, which I might do again this morning. I flicked through the pairs and I took the fastest one in the Wild West, and it just squeaked to win with a nominal sum. So it was just to show people, I've kept the recording, how you look at a quick analysis once you've got your eye, and it's actually a very simple system. So we can see here the US dollar is in an upward trend, but it's doing this retrace back. So we need to be mindful of that, whether it's in, but it's been in a strong upward trend. I'm just going to come out to the hourly. And you can see it's hit up at this level before, but as it's non-farm payroll, which obviously affects the US dollar the most, then we need to really stay with the trend. So it's done that. I'll move that out the way. So if it's going to carry on going up a bit, then it needs to do a break and a retest to the upside. We don't really want to be taking puts, but we'll look at the what's happening on HourGlass to see the strength. And we look at the numbers on the right hand side. So actually it's not too much difference, 49 to 34. It's giving us a put a minute ago. But if we read what we see here, we can see this very strong, what we call bearish for selling, red candle down. And it's doing this retrace back up to this midline. So although I had the currency strength meter saying I'd be buying the US dollar, at the moment it's now dropped below because of that big candle at London 10 a.m. It's now below our 50% line on our strength index and below the red line. And here it's coming into the oversold area. So we don't really want to be taking a call on this until it meets up with one of our better levels. Now, if it does continue to drop, you will see these figures drop. Obviously, the US dollar has just gone to 47 from 49 as it gets weaker. So we want to see what it's going to be doing on the half hour. But at this stage, it's just stalling out there as well. Let's come back to the 5 minute on here. So if I put the daily line on, we use indicators. These white lines are all old dailies. I haven't traded this one in a while. Just move that line out the way. So we just use the current and previous candle. Blue is for buy or calls, so I mark the highest that the current candle met. I can't mark where price is at the moment there because it's moving, but I can mark it here, and I'm going to mark it at the lowest price that it made on that daily, because I've got the hourly line also meeting it there. I've got a little zone, so I don't really need to put another white line on. And then on this other candle, I've got one down there. I've got one there. I'm just going to move one of them. Hang on, let me just take that one, old one, and I'm going to move it where the previous candle closed on price, not the probe. The bar, the horizontal shows you the price where it closed, and then we see that it's taken off on that new one there. That's the daily, and then the hourly is marked up by our indicators, the key levels. So you can see it's come off this hourly line. It's come off a highly significant quarter point, which is the 30,000 number. So that could indicate the end of its range at the moment, and that the dollar will start weakening. We don't know that yet, but the range is between that level and this 750 at the moment. And we've got a bit of a retrace back. So just come back to HourGlass, and that told us a put 4 minutes ago at 879, but it's at 885. So what does that tell us? That it's kind of wanting to carry on up, but it's struggling at these three key levels. They're like train barriers. So the US dollar is stronger than the Japanese yen. It's done a retrace before the half hour, but because it's hitting an hourly there at 957, 960, and then you've got the 112,000 and the daily. So this is quite a tough area for it to get through. And on the 5 minute, not much movement. So we had a big candle, not much movement. This blue moving average is still moving up. So as I said, it's non-farm payroll day, so you don't always get very clear movements on things. I'm going to have a look at AUD/USD. This one might be better for us. I was trying to move to some other things. I'm going to flick through the pairs before I go anyway, just as it's non-farm payroll, just to show you how we take a trade very quickly. So that seems to be quite popular. So see how it's stalled here, quite wicky, meaning probes, but not real orders. It's come down, it's done a retrace, it's coming down again. Just check my daily. So I just follow the same, you know, in-flight routine whenever I'm setting up. Get a cup of coffee, and that's the previous one. So that I can move to there, which is a close and an open, close of the buy and an open of the sell on this daily. So it has been going down, as you can clearly see. I can't mark current price though, so I'll move that. That's the previous candle. So I won't. I was going to move one up there, but I don't really need to do that. So I just need to take note of those. I'll leave this old one on because the dailies are quite important. Sometimes price stalls at that area. So here we are on the hourly, and you can see very little movement on this hourly line, 944. That's an hourly time frame. Very little movement, but it does say here upward trend, but it's obviously moved on from that. If we come to the 5 minutes, it's in this downward trend, and it's just stalling at that 945 area, as you would expect, because it's hitting that traffic, and then it's got this area to come down to 904, 910, where it will want to go to these other lines as well. So what does HourGlass tell us? And then I'm going to skip through the numbers, see if there's anything interesting. But I'm not a great fan of trading on non-farm payroll days. So it's 21, 23, it's just jumped a little bit. That's the wickiness of it. Or 21, it's just jumped back again to 50. It's giving us a call, so we wouldn't want to take that. It's on that 50% line. It's coming down to oversold. It's a call score of 2. We only take them at 3 and above. It has come off that midline though, which is always a nice place to take a trade. But because there's such a big difference, I wouldn't take it, and it's non-farm payroll. But I do like taking trades off that midline. It's a very good line of support. So it's at 938, but it was a call at 950 3 minutes ago. So you can see it wants to carry on down, wants to break through this area. And there's that 73 magic number up there, which was, again, another quarter point, 73,000. So I won't take that. Let's see what the payouts are. The broker I'm using. GA was the one I traded yesterday. We could do that. Well, we'll see what's happening anyway. Euro USD, I don't want to trade that in London. 84% on UJ and 81 on Australian dollar. So the payouts are all good. It's right up at 948. Still see it's only 1 bar to 4. HourGlass. See that wick? It's trying to come down. So it's at 955. So that one did work out. We're now coming up to that half past. Let's have a look on here. 976. So the half hour is giving us a sell, but we've got 944 as an hourly line. So it's not a good place to take a trade because of struggling at that level, and it is very wicky. So let's see what's happening on HourGlass. It gave us a put at 954, and it's a put score of 4. But that's why you'll find that if you do take that trade, that's why you'll find you might struggle with it, because it's right on this line. So even though it's on the half hour, because of where price action, because of where price is, you might want to consider waiting for what we call a break and a retest back to round about that line, and then take it, because price will always move in these waves. And there's the hourly, which is why it went right up before carrying on down. So not a trade we want to take. Let's look back at UJ. That massive candle, so it did the retrace, but it's still trying to push on up. And on the half hour, let's see how the half hour candle opens. So 6 5-minute candles in 1 half hour, obviously. And there it opens as a buy. So it's trying to get back up to retest something before carrying on down. It's had two or three goes to try and get past that significant level, and I should think that might be a D point on a forex scan. It might have completed a move there. Just look out at the 4 hourly. So it's done this very big move and a retest back, so it's definitely on its way down. So this pair's in transition. So although we said we would buy or take calls on the US dollar against Japanese yen, you can see that it is trying to now push down. It's underneath that hourly, it's underneath the quarter point and the daily, and it's tried it all before here. So it's done that retest back up. So as I say, non-farm payroll day, bit of a strange one. So what I'm going to do to finish off is just go to HourGlass and have a flick through the pairs and tell you what I see. First of all, I never trade CHF, Swiss currency, just don't like it at all. Many people don't, so I'm never bothered with it. It's a very slow moving currency. Or JPY, 23 to 31. So we'd want to be selling Australian dollar. Just refresh the screen. At the moment, it's coming up to the overbought area. It's right on the red moving average in the middle. So that looks good. You can see it's been in a downward trend. So that actually is a good one for a sell, a put. Here it is on the 5 minutes. You can see clearly a downward trend. And it's just broken below. I haven't got any of this marked up, so I haven't traded it for ages. 11:30. It's just breaking below that 200 moving average. And if you come to the 1 minute, it's already moved down. I haven't got any lines. Oh, I probably haven't got, yeah, I have got the key levels on. I haven't got dailies marked because I don't really trade this. So there is a nice little move in line with what we've just been talking about. Put it back on the 5 minute. It did try and wick up a bit off the half hour. So come back to HourGlass. Gave us a call 4 minutes ago. So we're coming up to the 35 past candle. It's not quite in the overbought area, but it's below our grey line. It's pointing up. So we want to see that point down. It's at 625 on this broker. Again, very wicky, lots of probes. HourGlass shows it's now moving up to the midline on the Bollinger Bands. Put score of 3,624, called it 621. It's just wicking off that level. So it's a little bit risky because you're on the correct market timing for the hour. You have still got the moving average as red. It's not quite up at that midline. It is now saying it's made the move and it's below the 50% line, 617. So that one is moving down okay. ORD NZD, very similar currencies, similar on that side. I never trade them. Again, quite slow moving. That's another move down, but it's not quite up at the overbought. And so giving us a call score of 1, you wouldn't want to take that. Or USD, let's see what happened there. It's a call. Don't want to be taking that. So it's broken our midline, come up to the edge of the Bollinger Band, come back down, having another go. So this one actually is moving a bit strangely because it's now, well, yes, as we know, it's not precise science. So it's coming up to the 40 minutes past candle. We have got a red moving average there. So this one is good for a put in a minute. Right up at 979. I'm on the 5 minute. So there's our 200 moving average, quite a big candle up. So let's see what happens. Usually I'd take, there's this level it's come off, that 945. And it's stalled on that for quite a while, but it's now broken through. Sometimes this pair can go all the way up, but as I say, non-farm payroll day, sort of very quite unstable. A lot of traders, the professional traders, we're not professional traders, we're retail traders, don't trade today. So this is the 1 minute chart. So we'd want to wait for it to hit that sort of level again. Come back to the 5 minute. Because this could go right up here. It's just whipped off that. So normally my next trade would be obviously 45 minutes, sticking to the market timing. And on HourGlass, we are right up at the edge of the Bollinger Band, up in the overbought area, right up above our 50% line. So this would tell us we would want to be taking calls. This tells us it's overbought, and when it drops the other way, like it did here, you get that move back down. That's what you want. You want to start to see the momentum in the move. And the strength meter here tells us that we want to be taking sells or puts, not calls. So let's just give this one, that is a big candle up. Let's just give this one a minute, but that's 40 minutes past. I might just flick through the other pairs. Euro Ord 76 to 27, so you'd certainly only want to be buying or calls on Euro Ord. It's a very fast pair. It's not one I ever trade on this system. So it's a call score of 4. It's right down in the oversold area. And it is, you just want the pointing above up on the relative strength index. So 45 minutes past, I would, if I was trading this, be looking to take the call on this. You can see it very clearly and look at the difference in the currency strength. Euro CAD, Canadian red flag news this afternoon, remember, has just 76 to 50, a put score. It's just switching here. So a bit of it's doing a retrace back. So that might take it to the hour. So I'd probably wait for the hour on something like that. Euro Chef I would ignore. Euro GBP I wouldn't trade in London. Euro JPY I wouldn't trade in London. Euro NZD 76 to 30 again on the euro. That's quite nicely placed. A call score of 5. Green moving average pointing up on your stochastic above the 50% line. You just want it pointing up. That's saying calls on the relative strength index. So actually that's quite a good one. A call at 6986, 6986, 6986 if I can find it. This is why you need to get yourself set up beforehand. It's only at 67%. 69, so you see it's already moved at 40, just moved there's the 40, 36, 6991 round about here, and it's made a lovely move. So that's how simple this strategy is. Once you get your confidence, the only way you get your confidence is by taking the demo trades. Then that's the train's left the station, as they say, because sometimes on you can wait for a retrace, then take the entry which you missed the first time. Set up a broker account and then go live. Trade with just $1, or on some brokers you can trade with cents. So you just press the button, because that's how you learn to get the confidence that you're going to press the button, because we are time-based traders. So that was that one. That made a nice move. Euro USD, I wouldn't trade in London. GA's that wild, very wild pair. In Forex, it can make you hundreds of pips, but equally it can lash you, whiplash you right out. It's just such a fast moving pair. It's at 526, currently at 532. It was called, call score of 2. It's sort of sat in the middle anyway. I'm just flicking through to see if there's anything obvious. A put score of 3 on 61 to 50. That's a nice move, even though you haven't got so much difference. But the fact is, you've got the red EMA. It's off the Bollinger Bands. It's heavily overbought. It's making the move. It's got 806. It's at 780. That was a very nice move. That one, GBP. I wouldn't bother with that. Wouldn't bother with that in London. Don't bother with that. NZD USD. Put score of 6. 34 to 39. That looks interesting at 236. It's at 248. I don't have these on my trading view. That is NZD USD. I don't know if it's on here. I don't know what it's paying out. NZD USD there, 85%. As you can see, it's non-farm payroll, but a nominal amount. Check you're on the right. Okay, 247. This is a Forex cross. A put at 236, just coming up to the 45. So let's be patient and still see that relative strength index there. 237. You can get in on the end of the previous candle if you're confident of your move. 236. It's at 236. The broker says 241. So as I'll take a trade there, and I'm in at 43.52, so I'm in at 1 minute. If you do get in at the end of the previous candle, I sometimes leave it till like 30 seconds before the start of the new 5-minute one. So I've taken that trade according to what HourGlass has said and what I've seen. I haven't got anything on trading view. It called it at 236, which is where it is now. The 45-minute mark for the new, remember this is the end of the last candle. So you can often get that retrace back as the candle sort of the bar shrinks back up, and we're waiting for the open of the new one. So it's at 45 will be here where my vertical line is. And I've got 2 minutes 12 left in the trade, as you can see over on the right hand side. I got a good entry according to HourGlass, 241. Called it down here at 236 on the previous one. It's a put at 242, so I was correct. I've got in where it's called it on the new one. 30 to 40, red moving average, put score of 5. It's right on the Bollinger Bands. It's just starting its move down. It's at 241 where I entered. So I'm on fixed time. I can't roll over. So if you're on a broker with rollover, then and you're confident, trustthetrade.com, that you've got the right move, then you can increase by 30% on your time and your risk, but you will get paid out more as well. So I'm just waiting for that move. It's just sticking a bit. And I've got 1 minute left of this 5-minute, of this 3-minute fixed time trade. And that will take me to 47, which is 2 minutes into this new candle. That's just struggling a bit. But again, I didn't have my dailies or hourly lines marked up. on this. It's just a bit of fun for non-farm payroll, just to show you how to analyze a trade. But on non-farm payroll day, things you see it's still pushing up a little bit. So what you can do as well, what some people do once you get more experienced, is you can take another entry if you're confident in your trade. I'm probably not going to do that. It's just still pushing up a little bit. And this is why it's good to make sure you've marked up your charts. See, it's still a very good trade for a put, but it's non-farm payroll. We're coming off that 45 as well. Just come back to it. There it is there. NZD/USD. So I lost that one. It finished at 245. I heard it click. Oh, so it made its move there. And it's right down the other side now. I wonder whether I hadn't got the screen refreshed on that. I may have made a 2 minutes ago. Called it 242. No, that's right. No, it's decided to 28 to 39, 805. It's broker discrepancy. I'm at 247, and on HourGlass that looks like my spreads are out 4.2. NZD/USD. So I think this is broker spreads have caught me on this one, isn't it? 7, 8, 11, 6, 7, 8, 10. So it's dropped right down, and it's at 6, 7, 8, 11. Oh, okay. So this is broker spread has caught me out. It's a forex cross, and they're playing silly buggers on this because it's right up still. It hasn't moved off that line where I took the trade. So that's where you have to watch your numbers and make sure. Les talks about this, what spreads, the difference between looking at the price on HourGlass here, 6, 7, 800, and what it actually says on your broker, because mine's still up at 69246. So very wild, and it's a bit of an odd pair. It's not one that a lot of people trade. So that's it from me for today. Just a bit of fun, really, and I hope that you have a good rest of the day with non-farm payroll. It will be Les might be on tonight with some of his forex harmonic scanner trading, and I will be back on I'll be back on Les is on Monday and I'm on Tuesday morning. So I'll see you all then, and have a great weekend.